Have you ever dreamed of the perfect revenge? A revenge so meticulous, so grand, that it becomes a work of art. Today, we're diving into one of the greatest revenge stories ever told. Alexandre Dumas's masterpiece, The Count of Monte Cristo. This isn't just a story. It's an epic journey of betrayal, survival, and the ultimate transformation. Our story begins in 1815 in the bustling port city of Marseille, France. We meet our hero, Edmond Dantes, a young, promising sailor who seems to have it all. He's just 19, about to be promoted to captain of his ship, the Pharaon, and he's deeply in love with a beautiful Catalan woman, Mercedes. They're planning their wedding, and the future looks incredibly bright. Life, for Edmond, is perfect, but perfection, as we know, often attracts envy. Lurking in the shadows are three men who despise Edmond for his good fortune. First, there's Danglars, the ship's purser, who is consumed by professional jealousy. He covets the captaincy that was promised to Edmond. Then there's Fernand Mondego, a fisherman who is obsessively in love with Mercedes, and can't stand to see her with anyone else. Finally, there's Caderousse, Edmond's neighbor, a cowardly and greedy man who goes along with the plot simply because he is drunk and easily swayed. Fueled by their bitter resentment, Danglars and Fernand hatch a wicked plan. They decide to write an anonymous letter falsely accusing Edmond of being a Bonapartist traitor. At the time, Napoleon had just been exiled, and being his supporter was a serious crime. The letter claims that Edmond is carrying a secret message from the exiled emperor. Caderousse is present while they draft this letter, and though he has his doubts, his weakness prevents him from stopping them. The trap is set. On his wedding day, surrounded by friends and family, just as he's about to marry Mercedes, Edmond is arrested. He's torn away from his bride, his father, and his life completely bewildered. He has no idea what's happening or why. Edmond is brought before the deputy public prosecutor, a man named Gerard de Villefort. Villefort is ambitious and politically savvy. Initially, he's inclined to let Edmond go. He can see that Edmond is an innocent young man caught in a web of jealousy. Edmond honestly explains that he was simply fulfilling his dying captain's last wish by delivering a package to a man in Paris. He has no political affiliations. The package contained a letter, which Villefort asks to see. And here, the story takes a fateful turn. Villefort reads the letter and his face turns pale. He realizes the letter is addressed to his own father, a known and influential Bonapartist. If this connection were revealed, Villefort's career, and perhaps his life, would be over. His ambition overrides his conscience. To protect himself, he makes a chilling decision. He burns the only evidence of Edmond's innocence, the letter itself, and condemns the young sailor to a fate worse than death. Without a trial, without any explanation, Edmond Dantes is secretly imprisoned in the infamous Château d'If, a grim fortress prison on an island off the coast of Marseille. It's a place where political prisoners are sent to be forgotten. To the world and to his loved ones, Edmond Dantes simply disappears. For years, Edmond languishes in his dark, cold cell. The despair is overwhelming. He nearly starves himself, on the brink of giving up all hope. He screams, he rages, he prays, but only silence answers. The world he knew is gone, replaced by stone walls and the sound of the sea. His bright future has been stolen, and he doesn't even know who to blame. But one day, just as he is about to succumb to utter despair, he hears a scratching sound from the other side of his cell wall. It's another prisoner trying to dig his way to freedom, and meets his neighbor, an old Italian priest and scholar named Abbé Faria. The abbé is a genius, a man of immense knowledge and wisdom. For the next several years, the abbé educates Edmond in everything he knows: history, mathematics, science, languages, philosophy, and economics. He transforms the naive young sailor into a sophisticated and highly educated man. Most importantly, the abbé helps Edmond piece together the puzzle of his betrayal. Using his sharp intellect, he listens to Edmund's story and deduces the identities of the men who framed him and the motive of the prosecutor who condemned him. The names are burned into Edmund's mind: Danglars, Fernand, and Villefort. The seeds of revenge are planted, and they begin to grow in the fertile soil of Edmund's suffering. The Abbé has been secretly digging an escape tunnel for years. But just as they are about to make their escape, the old man falls gravely ill. Before he dies, he entrusts Edmund with his greatest secret: the location of a colossal, hidden treasure on the tiny, deserted island of Monte Cristo. He tells Edmund, "Use this wealth to reward your friends and punish your enemies." When the Abbé dies, the prison guards sew his body into a burial sack to be thrown into the sea. In a stroke of desperate genius, Edmund moves the Abbé's body to his own bed and hides himself inside the burial sack. He cuts himself free and, against all odds, swims to a nearby island, finally tasting freedom after 14 long, agonizing years. Edmund is rescued by a crew of smugglers and joins them for a time, proving his worth as a sailor. Eventually, he orchestrates a visit to the island of Monte Cristo. He finds the treasure, just as the Abbé described. It's an unimaginable fortune of gold, diamonds, and precious jewels. Edmond Dantes is now one of the wealthiest men in the world. He is no longer the innocent sailor from Marseille. He is reborn. He creates a new identity: the mysterious, fabulously wealthy, and enigmatic Count of Monte Cristo. His sole purpose now is to carry out the Abbé's final wish, to enact a precise and devastating revenge on the men who destroyed his life. He spends the next decade traveling, refining his plans, and gathering information. He learns that his enemies have all become powerful and respected figures in Parisian society. Fernand Mondego married Mercedes and became a celebrated general, now known as the Count de Morcerf. Danglars used his cunning to become a millionaire banker. And Villefort has risen to become the chief prosecutor of Paris, the highest law official in the land. They are at the pinnacle of society, seemingly untouchable. The Count of Monte Cristo arrives in Paris, and his immense wealth and exotic charm make him an instant sensation. They have no idea who he is. To them, he is just a charismatic nobleman. Now the game begins. The Count doesn't use brute force or simple violence. His revenge is a slow, psychological dismantling of his enemies' lives. He uses their own greed, corruption, and ambition against them. For Danglars, the greedy banker, the Count creates a series of false financial opportunities and rumors. He manipulates the stock market, leading Danglars to make a series of disastrous investments. He drains his fortune bit by bit until the banker is left ruined and bankrupt, forced to flee the country. For Fernand, the traitor who stole his love, the Count uncovers a dark secret from his military past. He reveals that Fernand betrayed a Greek leader, Ali Pasha, sold his wife and daughter into slavery, and built his fortune on this treachery. The secret is exposed publicly, leading to Fernand's social disgrace and ruin. His son and wife, Mercedes, abandon him in shame. Faced with utter dishonor, Fernand takes his own life. For Villefort, the man who condemned him, the revenge is the most personal and devastating. The Count slowly unravels the web of dark secrets hidden within Villefort's family. He exposes illegitimate children, poisonings committed by Villefort's own wife, and a series of past crimes that Villefort thought were buried forever. The public revelations drive Villefort insane, leaving him a broken man, haunted by the ghosts of his own making. He saves the family of his former shipowner, Monsieur Morel, from bankruptcy and despair, acting as a mysterious, divine benefactor. He sees the collateral damage his revenge has caused, affecting the innocent children and families of his enemies. He starts to wonder if he has the right to play God, to mete out such final and terrible justice. He realizes that his quest, born of suffering, has also caused immense suffering in others. In the end, after his revenge is complete, the Count of Monte Cristo is left with a profound sense of emptiness. He has destroyed his enemies, but it hasn't brought back the life he lost or healed the wounds in his soul. He has to learn to forgive not his enemies, but himself, and to find a new purpose beyond vengeance. The story concludes with the Count sailing away into the horizon, leaving behind his life of revenge. He has learned that human justice is flawed and that only God can hold ultimate power over life and death. He leaves with a final message of wisdom. All human knowledge can be summed up in two words: wait and hope. The Count of Monte Cristo is more than just a thrilling adventure. It shows us that while the desire for vengeance is a powerful motivator, true freedom comes from letting go and finding hope for the future. What do you think? Was the Count's revenge justified? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a literary classic, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories. Thanks for watching.